Hey.
I'm trying to get in touch with Gillian. Usually she's here when I open the room at like 5:15. So I don't know if there's traffic or
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I'll stick around for a few minutes.
Okay. Like I just checked my email. I don't have any emails from her. So the only thing I can figure is she might be having technical problems.
I'm just going to keep myself muted until she gets on.
That's fine. Yes. Okay. She said her computer's acting up and she's working on getting on.
Hi, sorry about that.
Hi.
Took that chance to be like, okay, I think I can actually finish dinner before joining because I always do it afterwards. And I was so hungry today. And so I was like, I was like, okay, we'll be a little closer in time, but we'll make it. And then I get my laptop, my computer, and it's like, yeah, no, you're not. You have to restart. Okay, that's taking a lot longer. So, okay. And I'm here. We're good. All right. So what I had planned for today was kind of going around two things. Depending on if there's a lot of people here in person, I was going to say we could do that game still, just a little short one. But since it's kind of really small, I'm thinking what we can just do is just go on to the next amount of signs. And then we can wait till like our 8th meeting, our last one, to have our big game. So I like to always warn, but I'm really in the signing mood right now. So I apologize. I was just having a whole speech with my parents about deaf culture because I'm teaching my kids about deaf culture and working with it connected because this month, September, is Deaf Awareness Month. And yes, I know. I realized I was like, yes. So it's a very big deal. And my school is doing competitions between all the grades, and elementary school or grade competition is to have us decorate our doors with banners that say deaf can and kind of what that means, and so today was like the first day all of my kids were here and I could explain it all. And I was explaining it to my parents and going through it. So I got very invested right before this class. So I was just like, this is the time.
I just want you to know that it sounds like you're killing it on that end. On my end, we were proud of ourselves because we had Constitution Week. We had Patriot Day covered. We had Hispanic American Heritage Month covered. I didn't know it was Deaf Awareness Month. And now I'm like,
I feel so
I've got this. I've got the books. I've got the movies. I've got the display.
We'll see. And
Now I know.
Well, it doesn't help that I also was not like, oh, hey guys, it's now the first week of September. This month is called Deaf Awareness Month, because it's been a very hectic 2 weeks at school, which I feel like I say every time. But school's just hectic, especially in this time. So, but yes, so this month is Deaf Awareness Month, and it's very big. Like, it's very, for me, I'm feeling this is very, last year I couldn't do much about it, like do much involvement because it's all virtual and it's hard.
Yeah.
But now we're in the class. I'm like, okay, guys, we're going to do some projects. So we're learning about deaf people, famous deaf people in our class, and we're going to do all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, hopefully we can get through this. So, but on my little side note, what I had planned for today was 2 things. One was emotions and then descriptors. So I'm going to start kind of explaining descriptors real quick, kind of do all my little presentation speeches, and then we'll get to the signing. And if I'm talking too fast, please let me know. Like I said, I just ate, so I'm like very hyper. When I eat, I either go super hyper or I go super tired. And right now I can feel it. I'm very hyper. So if I'm talking really fast, I apologize. Anyway, so descriptors. The thing about descriptors is a lot of times they're things that you can kind of visually see and understand. And some of them are not fully like actual signs. You do have a lot of gestures connected into it, which kind of helps for, us having to describe things if we're not familiar with the language fully. And that's just because, sorry, I felt something on my finger. When you're describing something, it's very visual. And, we'll say, oh, that person right there, and that natural sign that we do, just that natural movement, like of gestures that we do, is involved when you're doing ASL descriptions. So it kind of helps. It's not as challenging and having to like learn all these new signs all of a sudden. So, okay. So that was just my little tidbit on that. Emotions. Emotions are one of the things that's very important with emotions is facial expressions. So you don't want to say like the sign for mad and have your, like, you're just kind of looking happy in the face. Like you show it. You want to show it. And that's always something very big, is really having that connected. So we're going to start with mad because that's the one I already said and it's now stuck in my brain. So mad is mad. Your hands are kind of in that weird bend. You're just mad. Sometimes people will go, oh, or mad, but usually can go like, whoa, like, whoa. So a lot of times it's mad. And you make that angry face with it too. You really gotta, I almost say, act like you're in a show on Broadway and you're trying to show how like your emotions are connected. Because I always think of it like when I'm signing sometimes, especially when I'm doing like stories to my kids, getting into it. We're like, I'm doing the body movement. I'm doing everything. I'm almost doing a whole entire play right there. And that's to help them see I'm really mad. Now the sign for like I'm fed up, like I'm finished, I'm done with this, is fed. So it's like I'm fed up. I've had it up to here. I'm finished. That's actually a recent sign that I learned. That was like, I learned it last year. Yes, last year. Because I never had to learn the sign for fed up. Like I'm fed up with this right now. And one of my co-teachers was like, do you know the sign for fed up? And I was like, no. She goes, oh, it's this. You'll use it. Don't worry. And then she was right. I did. I'll be like, I'm fed up with you guys not paying attention. Pay attention. So fed up. Again, facial expressions. Like you're fed up. Also, I just remembered that can also be used for the word like full. Like I'm full for food. And that's where that facial expression. This is a sign for like facial expressions. Facial expressions. So if you're saying like you're full, like I've eaten, I'm full, eat, like you're not going to be like eat. No, you'll be like, I'm full. Like I feel just stuffed. Okay. And then we have happy. So happy is going to be happy. You're just kind of happy. And this is also like what you can say for like for happy birthday, which is a sign I have us learning next week, but I'll say it now. So happy, then your middle finger, birthday. So happy birthday. Then we have excited. So excited is going to be your both middle fingers. And again, it's that way that I almost showed you for birthday. It's that same thing. And you're going to just go excited, excited. And they'll have almost like that motion with it, like, oh, I'm so excited. Seeing my kids, whenever they're saying they're excited, is so funny because they're like they go super fast and you're just like, oh, wow. Okay. You're showing me that you're excited. So I love it. I do it too. I'll be like, oh, I'm so excited. My arms are just moving like crazy. So love watching that sign. Okay. Then we have calm. So calm, this is like for quiet, calm, calm. You just kind of have both hands start calm, calm. And they're kind of, I'm going to kind of go up higher so you can see it, but you guys just be right around here, calm, but it's calm. You're almost going, it's like you're making a triangle, but you're not doing a full triangle. You're just going calm, calm. Another one is called like being chill. Like I'm just chilling, you know, and that is chill. It's just kind of open. It's like I'm chill, chill. I like to, we have daily mood trackers that my kids do every morning to help them kind of identify their feelings and emotions. And that's one of them it's like the color green is for calm. And sometimes they'll finger spell the word because they don't remember it. And I'm like, you know, calm, chill. And they just look at me and they're like, no, what's excited? I'll pick that. And I'm like, okay. So calm, chill, just kind of going with the flow. And then tired. I signed it. I'm sorry. I was going to describe it, but I was so in with myself of signing that I just went with it. Tired is going to be all four of your fingers touching your shoulders and then folding inward. Tired. And a lot of times that your shoulders are with it. Tired. I'm tired. And I will say that if you do it multiple times like this is animal. So when you're trying to say you're tired, just tired, you just kind of one time slouch and done. So I love whenever there's signs like that because I look at my kids, I'm like, which one are you trying to say to me right now? Because you're kind of signing looking like animal, but your face is showing me tired. So love that. Then we have, give me a second, I'm going back to my list. Okay. Then we have sad. So sad is going to be kind of open palm hands, sad. So it's just, you kind of have that sad face behind it, like sad. I've also seen where they'll do like sad. This is a sign for crying, but you can also, can mean like sad. Let's see, what's another one? Nervous or scared. So this is the sign. So the sign for scared is going to be, you start with this like this, and then you almost like kind of like they're going towards each other. Yeah. Scared. And that can be also saying for like a haunted house, you would do scary house. So scared. Oh, excuse me. Nervous is going to be you actually just shaking your hand. Nervous, like nervous. And then we have shy. So shy is going to be shy. You start with, yes, there you go. You got it. So shy. You start with the back of your fingers to your cheek and you just move them up. Shy. And again, that's where you have that kind of the face, you know, you're not going to be like shy. You're like shy. Then we have, I had one and it just kind of left me. Give me like 2 seconds. My little moments when they fly away, I'm always like, come back. Had shy. And we had, oh man, it got away. Okay, well, let's see. What are my other emotions? Because that one just took all of them with it. So we have shy. Oh, sensitive. There we go. Sensitive. Okay. So sensitive is going to be, you have again that middle finger. It's going to be touching your shoulder. Sensitive. Sensitive. So the other one I have is blunt. And that's just straight, use it for straightforward, that's just very honest. But there is also a sign for honest. Sorry, I'm like adding them in my mind as I'm going. I'm like, oh wait, that was one too. And so it's very chaotic. I apologize. So blunt, you're going to have in that B motion, and you blunt, blunt, blunt. Very basically straightforward. You're a forward thinker, forward talker, blunt. And I will fair warn, don't leave your B on your forehead like this. Well, yeah, I just want it. There's a sign. The sign for shark is like shark, but it does get confusing. This is the sign for I don't want to say it because you guys have families. I'm gonna type it real quick. I'm sorry. I see your children. I'm always like, oh, I don't want to say that out loud. Wow, I feel really weird. So this is the sign. That's the sign for this. And then that's for the female version, which is what a female dog is. So yes, so it's very important that you're blunt. You do that outward motion, blunt. I just feel the need to tell you guys this. Okay. Then we have, sorry, I'm trying to close out the chat. Here we go. Okay, so we have blunt. We have stubborn. So stubborn is going to be, you're going to start with this motion. Thumb is on the side of your head and you fold your fingers down. Stubborn, stubborn. And again, the eyebrows are kind of bent down like that. Stubborn, stubborn. I tend to always be like, you're stubborn, stop. That's just kind of one, so stubborn. Oh, I had another feeling, another kind of, well, these are descriptors also, not really emotions, but like descriptors are also involved, saying she's stubborn.
Did we do honest? You said honest and then, yes.
I didn't sign it. That's the one. I was like, I knew there was something I said and it didn't happen. So honest is going to be non-dominant hand is palm up. Dominant hand's going to be in the H, but really like the U motion either way. And you're going to have it just go honest, honest. And that's for saying honestly, that's for saying she's honest. Basically any kind of emotion, any sign anytime you would use the word honest, it's honest. Liar really tends to go just with saying she lies. You don't always add that. I think I've showed y'all lie, right? Lie. I don't know if I have in the past. So lie is going to be basically almost bending your fingers like yes. And then you just brush it across your chin. Lie, lie. And so you don't ever say like liar. I mean, I guess you could, but most of the time it's just they point to that person, lie. Or they'll sign the person's name, fingerspell, whatever, lie. Lie. Okay. I'm trying to think of any other emotions you got. Do you have any emotions you guys can think of that? Because some of them we have, if you think about it, in English, we have a lot of words to describe the same meaning, the same feeling. Like for saying like anxious, you would still do that nervous sign. That's the one thing I like about with ASL is that a sign, even though it may be when you see in the description or like the definition, it says this is a sign for happy, or this is a sign for nervous. There's other words that we use that are very like just over. This is a sign for expanded, over, like elaborated, and it's just this. So it's just you're just widening everything. And I feel like this is a sign that represents English, okay? There's one word and we make 20 different words to describe the same word. So in ASL, it's just like, we're not going to worry about that because they all mean the same thing in the end, which helps because then you understand, you're like, got it. So let's see, are there any other emotions? This is the sign for emotions. It's ease. I use ease. I think that helps clear out because there's other signs that come with that. So E, and you just kind of brush them up against emotions. Okay, let's see. Are there any other feelings? Well, the sign for feel. So feel has obviously two different signs. One for the physical aspect of actually feeling something, touching something, and then the actual meaning of like, I feel sad, I'm feeling. So the sign for the actual emotion of touching and feel is, depending on what it is, almost you would be like touch, which against that middle finger, so touch, or like feel. it's, you know how you, when you're feeling something, like if you're feeling a blanket, you don't just poke the blanket, you're actually like holding and kind of feeling it. And then the actual sign for feeling is, again, that middle finger sticking out, feeling. And you just brush it up against feeling. And this is one that's more to what we're talking about, is of emotions. And I'm feeling happy today, feeling sad. Oh, frustrated. That's a good one. Sorry. It's always when I sit there and I think about all the signs I see my kids saying when I ask how you're feeling right now, it goes in my head. I'm like, oh, that's one. So the sign for frustrated is going to be 2 B's. And you're going to go frustrated. Frustrated. Used to think it was this, which I've seen, but this is the more accurate one I've seen. And you just go down, frustrated. And you almost want it to be like the back of your fingers are touching. It's almost like doing this. I'm trying to go slower. Frustrated, frustrated. So yes. Okay. So what we'll do right now is we will go back to what the emotions are. I know I've said a lot, and because I've talked a lot, not going to remember them all in perfect order. So Miss Katie, if I forget one, please let me know. All right, so back on at the beginning. The first one I gave you guys was mad. So mad, 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 angry, same thing. Then we have happy, happy, excited, excited, calm, chill, calm, chill. Basically meaning the same thing. Okay, we had calm. Then we had, oh, fed up. I'm fed up. I'm full of this right now. I'm full of food. Sorry, I've mixed them right there. Fed up. I'm angry. I'm so mad. I'm done with this. I'm also full of food. I'm full. Sorry, I'm just gonna be like that. Okay. And we had fed up. We had what was,
I have a note for tired, but I don't remember what we did.
tired. So you have, yes. So we have tired is again that shoulder motion. Because I also said that if you do it back and forth like this, that's animal. So that might be why you have a little star, is like that's also because I showed animal involved with tired. So tired, we have nervous, nervous. We have scared, 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 also like scary house. Ooh, that's what we might can do. Sorry, I just realized I could teach y'all some Halloween signs before we end this class, because we're getting closer to Halloween, so it'll be good. Yes, there's a lot, and I love them. Anyways, that was a total sidetrack. What else was there? I know there's sensitive, sensitive, sensitive. Then we have, oh, sad, sad, crying, sad. More use, this is more used for crying, but I have seen someone saying, I'm feeling just like crying. I feel like I'm crying. I feel like I'm sad. So sad. Then we had sensitive, and then we had shy, shy. Then blunt, blunt, that B again, right on the line, right between, basically on your nose. Yeah, blunt. And you just kind of shake it forward one time, blunt, straightforward. Then we have stubborn. So thumb, stubborn, stubborn, stubborn. And then what was that?
Wait, I just caught on. It's like a donkey's ear. Stubborn.
It
Stubborn
might
as a
be
mule.
okay, you might be actually,
I'm just saying.
something. Like there's moments like that happens where you're just like, wait a minute, like makes sense. Like there's those connections, you're building them.
I bet that's what that is.
It kills me whenever I get those connections. I'm like, oh, because it's like this. And I'm like, I don't know which one originated from which, but I love it. They're in the same category. And I'm like, yes. So yeah, I bet you're right. I've never
Totally get it.
Yes, you'll never forget it now. Stubborn. What else do we have? Frustrated. I know we had frustrated, frustrated, frustrated. And then I see Miss Katie. Honest. Okay. I always forget this one again. Honest. 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 And then I added lie. So lie again is that B. Now bent. Lie. 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 And if you're calling someone a liar, you point saying they're a liar. Or they all lie. I love watching the kids go, all of them lie. And I'm like, love when they make up. I'm like, okay, sure. Then we had emotions, the actual sign for emotions. So those E's, emotions, emotions. And then I described the two different signs for feels. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. The first one is like feel, like touch. Again, that's kind of more, that one I want to explain a little bit to be clearer. That, depending on what you're trying to say, you're touching. Like if you're touching a wall, you'd be like, and you're telling them they need a touch, you'd be like that's when you'd be like touch. So like need touch. But if you're saying like need to feel, like you would kind of go need to feel. It's kind of depending on what you're actually talking about. Context, which is a very big thing in ASL. That's how you know which word is being used when they're signing. Because like I've said, there are some words that have similar signs. And so it's very important to also know what the context is. Then we have the second word, so feeling. That middle finger, feeling. Okay, and was that the last one, Miss Katie, or was frustrated the last one that I added? Is there any more?
I have feel as in touch, feel as an emotion, frustrated and crying as the last ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think we covered everything.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, so now we'll move on to the descriptors. So when you're describing something, we're going to focus on people first, and then we'll talk about describing objects, but people's a little bit easier and kind of more like an intro into describing things. So one of the things that's kind of the easiest about describing someone is when you talk about their height. When we're describing, we say, oh, that really tall person. And sometimes some people, I did this. I've always done this, is be like tall. I'll make that motion. It's the same in ASL, is that you do this to decipher where they are in height. So if you're saying they're really tall, you would do like, and sometimes you'll see them just almost like stretch and pretend like the person just keeps going, even though they might be only like 6 foot, but they're like, to them, they're like, oh, no, that is like all the way up here. Then the same for like short. So a lot of times, again, you almost dramatize it just to be kind of helpful and clear on that you're talking about, like in a story, if you're talking about characters and you're saying like there's a difference of like, you have like you have like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, you have like Snow White and then the Seven Dwarves. Again, you would really make that motion of it. So then you have size. Now, the one thing that I'm so sorry, a dog barked outside. I heard him and it was quiet enough. I don't think it picked up, but they started it because they heard. I apologize for their barking. Anyway, so for size, in ASL, it's very blunt. And what I mean by that is a lot of times if you're describing someone, whereas when we would say, oh, we're not going to say fat. We're going to say chunky, likes to eat. We don't like to, and I don't always like, I hate trying to figure out how to describe someone in English because everything can be offensive. And so I'm just like, yeah, that person, I describe everything but that. And so when describing size, you basically just, in ASL, you have to be straightforward. If they're like really skinny, you'll do the pinkies of like stick thin, like this is skinny. I always make this to my sister. I just look at her and I go skinny because she's pretty much a stick. She lucked out in the family. She's the skinniest one of us all. And then if you're just kind of talking like normal size, you're just kind of like size, just kind of normal. Big tends to be big. And I hate with the facial expressions, but it's like big, like you almost kind of back out, especially if there's someone, you know, that's much larger, then you'd be like much larger. And again, hate to do that, but I'm always, because like, and that's just the hearing person in me who's grown up knowing that's not nice, that's rude. But in ASL, it is to help clarify when you're describing someone. Then I also have seen, which always makes me laugh, to be nice, some people will just fingerspell fat. They'll just fat real fast, because then that person can't see that they're talking about them or something like that, to be polite. Not often have I seen that. I just have seen it a few times. The other sign for fat that I've seen is fat. And it's to like emphasize like big cheeks, big face. Again, I apologize for my dog. I know she's right out my door wanting my attention, but is barking. So fat. And then we have, sorry, she's totally distracted. Okay, if you're talking about hair color. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I've got to hush her up. She's going to drive me crazy. Okay, we're back. I'm so sorry. I had to move her from the window so she stopped looking outside. All right. Now what I was going to say on hair color. So the sign for hair is just hair. Hair. You just basically touch hair. And when you're describing someone's hair color, you would go hair, and then what color you would use. I'm trying to remember if Miss Katie, have we sent a video for colors, or is that just already included in the videos? So I don't remember if this class we actually went through the colors. A lot of times that's more like that supplementary.
We have not. I don't think we did colors in this class. I don't think we've done them yet.
Okay. So a lot of times for hair colors, and what we'll do is, Miss Katie, if you could, I could try to find the video, and then maybe we could add it to the link so everyone can see that again. Because I know there's a video of me signing the colors. A lot of times the colors you use are going to be blonde, brown, black, white, gray, red. I'm trying to think of all the hair colors. I know there's dyed colors, but those are like extenuating circumstances. You can look up those colors later from our video. So we're just going to go through kind of these 6 colors. So the color for brown, I'm sorry, but I'm a brunette, so I have to go with brown first. That's just how I am. I do it every class. I'm like, oh, we're going to talk about brown first. So the sign for brown is brown. You make a B and you just brush your cheek, brown. So if you were describing someone's hair, you would go hair, brown. For redheads, again, my sisters are redheads, so that's like the next step in my family is like, okay, every one of us is brunettes, then we have the redhead. So I'm not going to go in that process. I apologize. So red hair is going to be red. And then you'll touch your hair again and go red. Now I know there's the strawberry blondes, there's, more the orangish kind of colors. My sister gets into a whole big debate with her friends about this because they always try to tell her hair is not completely red, and it's a whole big deal. I get it. And a lot of times you can do red. If you really wanted to, you could say strawberry blonde. I have seen it a few times. So strawberry blonde is going to be the sign for strawberry and then the sign for blonde. So strawberry is, again, your thumb, the back of your nails on your chin. So strawberry. And then blonde is blonde. Oh, sorry, I'm doing this fast. Okay. So you're going to have this motion. The pointer finger, it's almost like you're holding a phone to your face, and then you pull it out and you put it down. So see, I'm like pulling my pointer finger down to a Y, blonde. This is a sign for gold. And that's kind of, color of blonde, gold. It takes a minute, I promise. It takes practice of being like used to that. So blonde. So again, it is blonde. Okay. Yes. I'm sorry, Miss Katie. I saw that and it made me laugh. Your pointer
It's
finger.
not describing any blonde people.
There's no one in my household who's blonde, so like I don't ever have to use it. But for blonde, okay, here I'm gonna go sideways. Blonde. Just basically you're pulling it. Yes, I always add that outward motion, and I think that's what throws everyone off. This is also the sign for California, might I add. I'm sorry, I just have to add that in. That is the sign for California, and it's because of the gold rush, I believe. I hope to say that. I'm not always great on history, okay? But I'm pretty sure the gold rush happened in California. If it didn't, don't judge me. Don't try to correct me. I know it's not great. Okay, good. Okay. That is like my worst subject. Okay, guys. Like you can ask me any kind of math problem and be like, okay, I'm gonna try my best. I have my logic of formulas. I know. You tell me anything about history, I'm like, oh yeah, you're probably right. Anything you say, you could tell me the craziest thing. I'm like, oh, that happened. Yeah, you're probably right. So that's why I was like, I'm not sure, but California, gold, blonde. There's another sign for blonde I've seen, but I cannot remember at the moment. I will double check it again. Then we have black. Okay. So for black hair, you're going to go black. Just point your finger, black. Hair, black. And I will say later on, like next class maybe, there are a few signs that are in this same area that are very similar. You have forget, black, and summer. All three of those signs are in the same, all in this area, and they tend to get very confusing. So I just thought I would inform you guys of this now.
What was the third sign? I didn't hear you. Black, forget, and
summer. So the season summer. Yeah. Okay. I know. When you see them, you're like, oh, because the sign for summer is summer. And I always think of this emotion of like you're wiping sweat off your face, because at least in Alabama, our summers are very hot and humid. And then you have black, and then forget. But I remember those three were the hardest ones to learn. I just would stare at my teacher going, I don't remember which one you said now, and I don't know which one's which. So, but this is black. And then for gray can be kind of a hard, easily confusing one sign, because it's very similar to machine. And I'll see kids sign it the other, like the sign for machine more like times too. So it's a good even mix. I'll see it. So gray is going to be, give me a second. Now I'm having to question myself because I'm trying to think of, so this is a sign for machine. It's where you bounce them back and forth. Gray is this. You just kind of, they're not actually in, they're just kind of going up and down. And then machine. So you can see where there's very similar lines, gray and then machine. And you guys may not think there are a lot of confusing lines, but when you're actually starting to sign stuff, you tend to just kind of go, oh, wait, there was something here. Oh, this, or be like, oh, this, and it's not right. So when you start using signs in sentences, it gets a little old. The sign for white is white. Mm-hmm. And again, one thing I guess also I can say with the hair colors that we learned for African American people, this is also the sign of describing like skin tone. So black. For white Caucasian, the sign for white, like actual sign for like white Caucasian is white. You just basically are throwing white on your face. White. I remember when I learned that, I was like, that's interesting, because I've always said white. And I still see some say it, but I've seen this too. White. All right, let's see. Any of those fun colors, you just kind of, there's a video that has actual colors in it. So you guys can look at that and have fun. Because I always like, what about purple? Can I say purple hair? Because I have a little bit of purple in my hair that I like to add every now and then. So that's fine. Anyways, total side story. Now to describe the type of hair. If it's just straight, well, first off, length. Length is again, short, here. It's very simple. Wherever it lands, that's kind of where your hand goes. And then for straight, it's just straight, like straight. straight. I've seen like I've seen more like straight where you just almost go in that motion of down, but I have seen like straight, like it's straight. So straight. For curly, it's curly. You make it, you just kind of shake your C's. Curly, curly. For wavy, it's going to be wavy, wavy, wavy. I'm trying to remember. See, the problem is as a girl and who likes to have her hair very long, I never always try to take the time to always learn all the guys' short haircut styles, but a lot of them are just kind of, it's, you would say like curly for men. I do know the sign for bald. That one's a fun one to do. And so bald is going to be your middle finger again, and you just do a spiral on your head. Spiral. And I don't know why that makes me laugh, but it does. It just makes me laugh every time I think of it. So bald. And let's see. Other hairstyles. I know those are kind of not there's so many different types of kind of hair describing hairstyles. If you have your hair in a braid, you do the motion of like braiding, if it's in a ponytail, you would do like ponytail. She's that bun. It's that kind of like that top. It's almost like you're grabbing your bun. So again, these are very more gestural than they are actual signs based wise. And that's kind of how it goes again with descriptors is that way, that kind of way. Okay. So we've described hair and we've described size and height. So the next step is clothes, which I'm not going to give you guys too many. And the reason is because that would be a very long, and I feel like you guys would feel very overwhelmed because there is a lot of different ways you can sign for clothes. So the first sign is just clothes. And it's almost like your thumbs just kind of are brushing out. Thumb. Yeah, there you go. If you're describing a shirt, you would pull on the shirt. Clothes, shirt. And you want to make sure you do acknowledge that you are saying clothes because this is also the sign for volunteer. And so you don't want to be saying, oh, I'm volunteering, and then start describing clothes. So I think someone would be a little lost. So clothes, the shirt. For example, my shirt has stripes. You would just go stripes. That motion of like 4, and you just brush them across stripes. Stripes. If my shirt had polka dots, you would do the like these, like make little dots, and you go polka dots. Polka dots. For stripes going up and down, it's stripes. So again, it's that motion of stripes. For plaid, it's going to go stripes. Stripes, stripes. Either way, I tend to always go stripes. That does kind of look, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, looks like the signs of the cross from like private Catholic school. I'm so sorry. That's what I'm seeing now. But stripes. So stripes. Either way kind of works. If your shirt has words on it, you would do the color of the shirt. So describing the color. And then you would you do words, like words here. And then you would finger spell the words or sign the words. Let's see. Again, easily to kind of figure out is if you're describing a long or short sleeve, long sleeve, 3/4 lengths at the elbow. Again, it's very, you can see where that comes from. Okay. If you're describing like where it ends, like up top, down low, again, that motion. Okay, then we have, so I'm going to go to dresses. I'm sorry, that's just kind of my next one that gets in my mind. So dresses, you do the same motion of clothes, but you go farther down. So you know how when I said clothes, it's clothes, dresses, it goes down and out because that's how the motion of a dress goes, is it goes down and out. Again, you would just describe the same kind of way I was saying with patterns, like the dots, the stripes. If it's got one of those kind of fancy ones, I have a couple of them where it's almost like for fall, there's leaves here and all that. You would kind of just, you would say like animal, like cats, dogs, kind of that descriptions. But usually a lot of times, if it's that severe, you can try to figure out how to like kind of explain it that way. But a lot of times, hopefully by that point, they figure out who you're talking about, because it's kind of easy to see, oh, that person's got cats and dogs on their dress. So for shorts and pants. So shorts, it's hard to describe. I'm hiking a leg up. I apologize. You'll do shorts. You come to your knee, basically shorts. And that's where they end. So if they're shorts, like the girls like, teenagers, like you do it high up to your thigh. If they're, just kind of, what's that called? Boy shorts, they're down lower. For pants, a lot of times I see the motion of, okay, I cannot lift this high. On your thigh, let me stand. This is fun. Okay. So you would do like pants on both hands. So you just kind of motion hands on both down your legs. That's a very weird moment right there. I apologize, but I felt that was not going to be understood if I just kept lazily turning sideways and lifting a leg up in the air. I didn't think it was going to help clear it anymore. So felt I needed to stand. For skirt, a lot of times I'll see you just kind of make, I have to stand again, I apologize, is you make, well, you can't even see. Okay. Basically, these are my legs. You do the motion of where the skirt line ends. Skirt. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm making this overly complicated, but you know what? That's what I do. So it keeps you all entertained. That's all I hope for. Okay, for hat. I've jumped from that because I don't want to get to shoes yet. That's at the very bottom of my feet. And we're not there yet. We'll stop in the top where it's easier. So for hat, the sign for hat is hat. And it's almost like you got, this is more like, I guess, this is more caps, like a baseball cap. If it's like a fancy hat, you would be like hat. And then you'd probably make that motion like those, what are they called? Those really big hats that women wear when they go to the beach to cover basically the size of them. They basically can hide under it. It's almost like a big umbrella kind of hat, those kind of things. You would describe it like that. If you have like a top hat, top. So very kind of easy to pick up on. Then if you have any kind of jewelry, a lot of times it just tends to be kind of like necklace, like earrings, ring. So rings is going to be like this. For engagement ring, it's the big on, your left finger. Bracelets is just kind of tapping. Very kind of easy to pick up on. Let's see. What else is there that's around upper? Oh no. Okay, we'll just go to shoes. So the sign for shoes is shoes. And that when you're describing shoes, you basically are showing the length of the shoe. So at the bottom of your foot, where it ends. So if it's boots, you're going to showing the motion of where the boots end. A lot of times, shoes aren't always described as much. At least for me, I've never had to describe shoes as much because by the time I get to saying what the clothes look like, shoes are kind of already a last thought. They're like, oh no, I know who you're talking about now. But you would like running shoes. So then you would do the sign for running shoes. I tend to, because I'm a big Choco person. I love my Chacos. I will finger spell my Chacos. What's the motion for flip-flop? I'm trying to remember the sign for flip-flop. Sorry. I don't wear flip-flops, so I don't always, I hate to be that person, but I am. I'm like, if I don't have to use the sign often, I just don't remember it. And the sign for flip-flop, it's got something to do with basically having the strap between your big toe and your other toes, but I cannot remember what it is. So I will look that up. Let me type that out real quick because if I don't, I will forget. Look up. Look up. Flip flops. And then blonde. The color blonde. I was going to check on that one. Or see the other one I have. Okay. Is there anything you guys can think of about descriptions for a person? Oh, wait. Okay. Jacket and glasses. So the sign for jacket is jacket. Jacket. So jacket, coat, jacket. Then the sign for glasses is going to be glasses. You almost make a C in glasses. Glasses. Okay. So now that we've gone through all the descriptors for a person, see, I feel like if we went back on them, it would get really kind of confusing because there is a lot, and a lot of them are kind of easy to pick up on ones. So if you guys are okay with it, we're not going to review them. I feel once you see, okay, good. Because I feel once you see them again, you're like, oh, I knew that. I can figure that out. It's not like it's a completely new sign for some. Okay, so if you're describing an object, the motion for shape is very important. Like, so the sign, so like if you're saying you're looking for a box or, well, see, a lot of times for objects, you would use the actual sign for it. You would say like an apple, I'm looking for that apple, the laptop. But then if you're starting to describe it, that's when you add the colors, the size. So like it's big, it's small. I don't think I use this one, small. Not just for skinny, but like this is small. Like this is a small thing, It's like a phone, like saying it's small. Well, this one's not small. It's now a big one, but you know what I mean. And then you have big. So think now that I'm sitting here thinking about describing objects, you would just obviously sign the sign for it and then add color and size. And then a lot of times by that point, you figure out where it is. Okay, so I know this is a very chaotic meeting, I think, very just all over the place, which again, if that doesn't happen at least once in my class, I think there's something wrong because I'm just that kind of person. Are there any questions or any signs you guys are curious about or need like clarification, or you're just like, you know what, I know this isn't actually related to it, but there's a sign I'm curious about, like any of that? Good. Okay. I know this was kind of a lot. I mean, it's a lot, but it's also very like, you can understand where it's coming from, especially for descriptions. It's kind of easier to pick up on, like, when you're describing hair, you're not going to be going like hair or hair. You're going to go hair. So, all righty. So I'm thinking, I've also said so a lot. I apologize. Usually eating right before does not do this to me, but I'm very hyper. Oof. I guess we can stop for today. This is our 6th meeting, or is it our 5th? I think it might be our 6th.
I put that it was our 5th. I'll have to look. I
No,
could be
you're
wrong.
good. Well, and I put down in my because I have like my little list that I always have of stuff to sign, and I was looking at all the meetings and I was like, are we really on the 6th? And I wasn't so sure. That's why I was like, okay, I'm just gonna check and see.
I'll
Either
double
way,
check when I send out the link. I'll let everybody know for sure.
perfect.
It's the 6th because I missed the 4th.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when my dad ended up going into the hospital. So I missed that one. And that was our 4th meeting.
Yes, that's right. Okay. All right. Sorry. That was just me having to go in my mind. I swear these meetings, sometimes they don't blend together, but the weeks blend together where I'm just like, wait, how many meetings have we done now? And then I have a tendency where I'll think back on past classes. I'm like, well, that doesn't help. So just was curious. I mean, either way is fine with me, obviously. So just, I like to know where we're at to see if I can add more, if I need to take more. I'm definitely going to add, I think next class for sure. We are going to, because I have for next class, what do I have? I was going to do some common sentences and phrases, and we'll still be doing that. But I think I'm going to add also Halloween signs into it. So we get to learn some Halloween signs. I know it'll be not right before October, but I think it'll be good because
if this is the 6th meeting, then we'll have 2 more. And then this meeting will be the, that was me tapping on my phone. Sorry. I'm trying to think of what I just said, but I don't remember. The common phrases and sentences and Halloween signs. And then this last one will be kind of the game night one where we'll play some games, practice some signs, that kind of stuff. And if this ends up being the 5th meeting, which again, whichever way it is, this 5th meeting, well, then that's good because in that 7th meeting, we can do more review and more stuff before our last game. So either way, that works. But alrighty, so I guess I will see you guys all next week when we learn some Halloween signs. I'm not gonna lie, that's probably gonna be my favorite one because I love doing Halloween signs. They're just like my favorite. So
I'm excited too.
Oh yeah, you should be because you've never seen these before because we started this class in
I
April.
know.
So you've not seen any holiday signs.
The only one I know is haunted house because scared.
Yes. And
that's all I got.
You guys, like, it's great. Like, I love it. I won't lie. This is one of those holidays that there's a ton of signs for. Because for Thanksgiving, you have turkey, you have leaves and, corn, but that's about it. And then for, Christmas, there's some stuff, but there's not as much. But Halloween's where you just have a lot. And I get so excited. So it's one of my favorite holidays, obviously. But all righty. So I guess I will see you guys next week. Bye. Enjoy your day.
Bye, everybody.